Oh, is he gonna die to the hobbitses? Oh! Can you imagine? Can you? Guys, did this happen? Did you see this? Sakura Forest. We have the blue goblin player Sauron against the red dwarven player, Mr. Smokk. I wish the players best of luck, and may the best player, may the better player, may the more hands-on player win. 2 tunnels coming up for the goblins and 2 mineshafts coming up for dwarves. It's a clash between mobility too, you know, the dwarven snowball can be incredibly impactful, so I think when you play against dwarves you need to be kinda careful, especially early, the first 4 to 5 minutes into the game. You need to scout the bottom, the top, the middle for potential mineshafts, and you need to kinda try your best to discover the enemy push before they can reach out to your side of the map. Because if you see them a little bit too late, their commitment, their clump, their all out is so powerful, they are so tanky, they are hitting so incredibly hard. The only weakness, and that's the weakness you need to abuse as the opponent player, is the lack of movement speed, the lack of mobility. That's their only weakness, otherwise Guardians are top tier swordmen. They are so incredibly strong, tanky, all of their good stuff. Goblin Cave into the Goblin Cave number 2. And we have Extrover opening. We have seen this matchup a few times in this tournament so far, and there was the opening from dwarves against goblins in every single one of the situations, because Extrovers, they seem to be the right answer when it comes to counter the goblin spam. They are cheap, you know, they are 250 each. They are dealing great amount of damage to the goblins, they can one-shot them, they can win every 1v1 situation easily, even 1v2 situations, and later on they can even deal a significant amount of damage to your buildings. And if you can combine them with your front line, you know, with like a couple of guardians or pikemen, hallelujah. I think one of the changes they've implemented also into the version we are using right now is the buff to the spider riders. I think they made the trample damage from them a bit stronger, which was definitely needed, because in my opinion, from all the games I've been watching and commentating in the version 8.5, the spider riders, their price and their cost was just not justified, you know. 600 for one of them from a spider pit level 2, and when you got them on the field, they felt very meh, you know. Okay, so he's gonna creep this uncontested, no problemo. I think this is like a squad for scouting. They won't be able to achieve too much. Maybe he can steal the money. Oh no, Smokky will be able to get the money too. That's good. Creeping uncontested without getting harassed. That's pretty good. And Smokky was playing a phenomenal, having a phenomenal performance with the Dwarven faction in this tournament so far. He definitely knows this matchup. He definitely has played this matchup plenty of times. He knows what's up. He knows when to take a fight. And I like the playstyle a lot. Look, he will have in total now 3 Extrovers and 1 Guardian. That means the very first push is going to be so incredibly impactful and so incredibly hard at the same time for Sauron to defend. It's gonna be a rough one, because in order to defend against 3 Extrovers and 2 Guardians, you will need like 10, 12 goblins, you know, to fight against that. Otherwise you can't. So he has a couple of goblin warriors definitely. They are trying to harass us a little bit, but one of them will need definitely more time to destroy one of the mineshafts. We have in the mineshaft, there is 1 Extrover coming, 1 Guardian, there is 1 more. Builder from Sauron! He was not paying attention to this one. And Smokky is also bringing a builder with him. So, look at this. 2 Extrovers, 1 Guardian. But he will have more. He will have in total 4 Extrovers and 1 Guardian for the big push. Tainted Land will be his choice. Snipe the builder somehow. Kill the builder somehow if you can. Rallying Call has been used, but he couldn't bring the rest of the army. So it's a 3 battalion of units. And I believe Smokky is gonna lose this battle. He might even lose the builder too. Because I think the mineshaft... but the mineshaft is building so fast, dude. Holy guacamole. He's gonna cancel it. And yeah, but they will do out. Chase him. And you cheat. Nothing is faster than Goblin Warriors. You cannot outrun them. If you use Poison Blades, he is not in the range to build a wall up. Trust me that one. He's trying to S-abuse. Press S, move, S, move, S, move all the time. Yeah, look. Right before he gets hit, pressing S, and this is gonna give him the advantage and the edge to get him away. The Beholder is getting flanked a little bit, but should be just fine. The poison shouldn't be enough to finish him off. Okay, all in all, I think it's not a bad situation for Smokk by all means. He just killed a Beholder from Sauron. It's pretty effective in this matchup. The Beholders are just too valuable, 500 each, and you definitely need a second Beholder with the Goblins, so the Beholder has to get, you know, earlier or later replaced. That's gonna be another creep for Smokk. 0 creep so far for Sauron. And Smokk didn't lose a single mineshaft yet. He was, I mean, I'm not counting this mineshaft here because he cancelled it. The Beholder! Okay. 1 for 1. 1 for 1. He didn't respect the archers. So 1 minus Beholder for each player. Okay, lots of Goblin Warriors. Now they transition into the Half-Troll Swordsman. He has in total 3 Goblin Caves and 1 Half-Troll, 1 Fissure for the Half-Troll Swordsman action. But I think you also gotta need some Spider Riders. The thing is that Smokk has only 1 single pikeman, right? So 1 single pikeman. He has almost exclusively Extroverts and Guardians, and both of these units can be so vulnerable against the trample from the Spider Riders, you know? Yeah, this one is gonna be taken out, it's not a big deal though. Yeah, look, the backline is very strong and the front line is also tanky. So getting to the backline and getting to the Extroverts, I think it's kind of tough. And there are Porcupine Formation Pikemen, like they are so tanky, you know? After the first couple of minutes, we can see we have 500 command points for Goblins. He has 2 power points collected after the War Chant and the Tainted Land. On the other side, we have 8 power points for Dwarves. He might go for the 10 for Hobbit Ally Special Summon and combine this eventually with the Rallying Call. So, Tainted Land has a way longer cooldown than the Rallying Call has, right? So, I don't know about the Tainted Land choice from the Goblins. It might be like a handicap later on. The 10 power point from the Goblins could be a Wildman of Dungeon summon, the Spider Ally summon, or maybe even the Scavenger. Could be also nice. He should be able to defend this, but the tunnel might be taken down, never mind. Unless he's gonna shoot it. No, he's not shooting it. Look, none of them is moving. And Tainted War Chant has been used for this one. Smokk, I think the best goal what Smokk can do in a situation like this is wait it off. Wait for the War Chant to wear off, and then group your army, eventually this army here, with the Battle Wagon leadership, Hobbit summon, and buff them. So you have double buffed army. The enemy has no buff. It could be the best ever situation for you. Then the push is gonna be so hard to be defended. Just be patient, wait 30 more seconds, and then go in. Because he has no answer to this. He has not even power points for the cave pads. So that's gonna be hard to defend. You might even go for the Battle Wagon number 2. Yes, sir. So Battle Wagon number 2 for the well, for the recovery, for the heal over time. Chunky army, you know, with Extroverts, Pikemen, 2 Pikemen to protect them with the Porcupine Formation. Again, it's rough for you to get to the backline without trample, without Spider Riders. I mean, he's building up the Spider Pit now, but it might be a little bit too late because this push is going to be incredibly impactful. I don't actually know if Sauron can defend this. I don't think he has the units he needs to defend this. I mean, he has 3 goblins inside the tunnel. He has in total maybe like 5-6 goblin warriors. And they are definitely not enough to defend this. Because this one is going to be even stronger with the Hobbit summon, you know? Level 2 tunnel is going to be open for a potential attack. Spider Pit level 1, he's going for the Spider Lings. I think he's trying to use them to kill the Battle Wagons eventually. Rallying Call has been used after the Hobbit summon. The Hobbits, the Extroverts, the Pikemen, for the double buff with the banner on the Battle Wagon. They are gonna hit everything quite hard. Even production buildings are gonna be demolished within a second and a half. And the Dwarves are falling apart. While the Goblins are falling apart. While defending himself, Smokk is also able to destroy everything on the side from Sauron. Hey Toppy, welcome. Yeah, he's trying to defend but most of the goblins are not even able to move. Cave pads will be used, but again, they are not able to nullify leadership bonuses, which I believe is like a good thing for the Dwarven faction, because the battle wagons are going to be even more impactful now against factions like Isengard or you know, goblins. He's trying to get to the battle wagon, as you can see, with the spiderlings. Tainted Land will be used for the buff for the second time. Tainted Land will only last on the field until the cooldown is again available, you know? You can only have one of them at the same time on the field. Yeah, they are doing great. Thank you so much, Toppy, for asking. They are all fine. My son is fine, my wife is fine, my daughter is fine. Actually, my daughter is a bit sick because we were on barbecue Saturday evening. It was kind of a little bit cold. You know, she was playing a little bit too much on the water and she got a bit sick, but it's nothing serious. She's fine. 750 command points for goblins, but here's a Barrow expansion, which gives him 75 command points in total. He was expanding very nicely too throughout the map. Look how many tunnels he has left and right. And to be honest, the push wasn't as impactful as I was thinking it would be. And the goblins were kind of able to defend themselves. The command points are looking pretty evenish to me. 7 power points for dwarves after the hobbits. And the goblins went for the cave pads, Tainted Land and War Chant. So all the 5 power points from the spellbook. And he has nearly 8 power points on top of that. Now Man of Steel is another reason why you should be recruiting and spamming Spider Riders, but again, they are kind of expensive, you know. 600 each is a lot of cash. Hi Seren and welcome. Glad to see you around. War Chant is available for the next big fight. The problem is the army is not very strong, so most of the command points he has under his control right now are actually still only goblin warriors. You need more elite stuff because the transition has been made for the dwarves. He has Men of Steel. They're gonna, you know, one shot all your goblin warriors before they can. Oh, but that's what I'm talking about. You see the timing, you see the value. You just one shot of 500 units in a second, and one more trample. No pikemen. Yeah, no pikemen. War Chant has been used. He's gonna lose 2 of this Men of Steel. Oh, undermine value. Dude, we have seen already crazy plays with the undermine. They even, they damage those Spider Riders so much too? That's kind of nutty. But the undermine will be taken down, I believe. He's gonna get another squad of units, mainly pikemen and guardians, one of them each. I don't think they're gonna be, oh, but he has also behind a lot units, but no pikemen. The Spider Riders, they still feel kind of... Okay, one more trample. But they have buff, you know, they have buff leadership. I mean, they have the statue from the battle wagon into well. They are healing up constantly. You gotta finish off this undermine, by the way. You need to take it down. The Spider Alliance special summon from the spellbook of goblins were not very impactful too. He's gonna be able to bring yet another reinforcement to this location. And going ham now. Just hit it one time. One time, dude, it's like 1 HP. What is it? They are trying to finish off. Just hit the undermine one single time. But there is another one building up, and there's a Dwarven Snowball, ladies and gentlemen. You know, he can now keep doing this all the time. Build another one, yet another one, yet another one. You know? But he's only one single pikeman, that's the problem. More Spider Rider, yes. More Spider Rider is gonna join. Beautiful micro into the backline. One beautiful trample once again. Very well done. Best of 7. It's gonna be the thing. 950 command points for dwarves. He has 9 power points under his control after the undermine in Hobbit. So he needs like round about 6 power points for the 15. The goblins need also 6 power points for the 15. And he's kind of okay-ish right now. I mean, the push still happens. The tunnel is going to be taken down, but he has also the chance now to recruit half-throw swordmen and Spider Riders, the elite units. Maybe Azog could be a nice hero, maybe not. I don't know, because Azog, you know, he's a melee hero, and I don't think you can fight against those pikemen and guardians for a long time. You will get crushed by them with leadership. To be honest, I believe the buff and debuff nerf was kind of hitting factions like Goblins and Isengard a lot. Like their kit and their premise early game with the 5 power points was that they could get themselves like a good advantage in those fights. I believe in every stage of the game, Goblins are gonna get outskilled by any faction. Like there is not a single faction that shouldn't be able to fight against Goblin army. Like you have the value archers have in a big fight is just too much, you know. Archer damage, man of deal damage in this case. How can Goblin archers can mess with that? You can't. You know what I'm saying? That's why you heavily rely on the buff and debuff, on the double buff action from your spellbook. And now you nerf the war chant and you nerf the cave bats. I think it's kind of hitting harder on the Goblins than any other faction. Because in reality, factions like, I don't know, like dwarves, men and elves, maybe elves not, but they are not getting hit too much from it. But Isengard and oh, the barrage, the Watcher, the power points, 15 for the distraction, 15 for the devastation. He killed the army, but it's not a big deal. You see the snowballing situation, like 3 tunnels, 4 tunnels. He has 1 at the bottom, 3 in the middle, you know, and there is another one, and there is another one. Now he doesn't need to move. Now he has kind of found a way of kind of shutting down his own weakness. The weakness is no more. He can teleport from one location to any location he wants in a single second. Okay. 4 power points, 625 command points versus 1000 command points and 3 power points after the barrage. I mean, you can, like, I think you don't need to be a scientist to see that dwarves are clearly getting outskilled, right? They are, I mean, until a few minutes ago it was pretty even, but the fights are becoming more and more one-sided, you know? The Goblins, I mean. The Goblins are getting outskilled. It's a very snowbally faction, it's a very dominant faction early mid-game. Again, my opinion is that the nerf to the cave bats and war chant kind of made the early game from the Goblins even a bit weaker. They are supposed to be an early game faction, and now their early game is weak. Their late game was weak anyway, you know? And it's a rough situation. It's a rough situation. Azog is here, but Azog can't kill any one of them anymore, you know? Double buff, insane recovery with the well, with the banner. They can heal up while they are fighting all the time. If it's not enough, they have also heal from your spellbook. Crazy recovery. And now even the chance of committing against the fortress. Goblins are dropping down more and more command points every single minute, every single second. They are getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And dwarves are getting one step closer, closer and closer for the first victory in the best of 9, best of 7. No. I mean, they didn't nerf cave bats exclusively. They nerfed entire buffs and debuffs. So basically, War Chant, Rallying Call, Elven Wood, Tainted Land from Goblin faction and Isengard faction and Mordor faction are weaker. And also the same goes to the debuff. So Cave Bats, Creepbane, Mist, literally any debuff in the game got also weaker. Leadership got weaker too. I mean, for all factions. The thing is, it sounds great on the paper, right? All factions. All factions have now less leadership, less buff, less debuff. But in reality, I think some factions need it more than other factions need it. You know what I'm saying? For example, I don't know, like good factions, they have the chance to build a well and a statue, and the dwarves, they have the chance to get very early additional leadership with the battle wagon, and they have rallying call, they have strong beefy units. But I think some other factions need a bit more. You know, the debuff and the buff from the Tainted Land and War Chant. I think one of them has to be Goblins. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Goblins, throughout the games we have seen so far, kind of feeling underwhelming. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're gonna see the next game other way around, and Smokk is gonna get to play the Goblin faction. Maybe he can show us how it's done, you know, because again, he has more experience in this beta than Sauron has. Undermine once again, pretty good, strong. Dealing actually great amount of damage to even half-throw Sportman. There comes the Cloud Break, there comes the stun. What is Goblin supposed to do against double buff? Yeah, I mean, you can still make the enemy units weaker. Yeah, I mean, you can still make the enemy units weaker, but you see this nullifying enemy leadership. That's not a thing anymore. You cannot nullify enemy leadership anymore. You know? And Sauron is not gonna call it GG, but he's gonna leave the game, and that's gonna be the first victory for Smokk. 1-0 start for the player from Ukraine. He's trying to move. Okay. He's gonna be able to do it, I think, this time. Okay, so we have the blue Dwarven player Sauron against the red Goblin player Smokk at the bottom right side. This is the game number 2. The score is 1-0 for Smokk. He is definitely ahead. He was able to win as Dwarves against Goblins. Let's now see if he can win as Goblins against Dwarves. He's saying, don't get too excited. Ooh. Okay. Dude, I'm telling you guys, I'm expecting later on in the following games much more of a fiesta in the chat, because there is like a rivalry going on between these two players, you know? They don't really like each other that much, and there is going to be a little bit trash talking after each game, and especially after the end of the tournament, after the end of the finals. Who's gonna make it might flame a little bit, the other one can be a little bit hurt. It's all fine, as long as it's not going too crazy. Double Mineshaft, extra voice. Never change a running system. That's the opening you do against Goblins in 2022. And we have 3 tunnels, Goblin Cave into the Goblin Cave number 2. And the build is moving on forward. In chat, they will potentially talk here in the chat. ROTWK, nice, good map. Okay, what is he doing with the builder? I think he's waiting for the opportunity to build a tunnel. And we have a Goblin Cave number 3 going up for Goblins. So this Goblin player is gonna try to put pressure. Like, you see the opening from Sauron is pretty similar to the opening from Smokk in the previous game. He was getting extra overstart and then trying to creep. But Smokk is a little bit faster on the spot. So he might be a little bit more disturbing when it comes to get this creep done. And eventually even end up stealing money from the treasure, you know? I mean, what he's doing is like, he's being annoying. Oh, sorry. He's being a little bit annoying. He's gonna try to steal money. Oh, I know it. Is he gonna make it? Secure it. Kill the Goblin first. One more hit. Okay, now. Smart move to not rush the lair. Just be patient. You don't have to finish it. You can just kill the Goblins in one shot anyway. Not a big deal. Okay, that's good. Now they can keep moving on. So we have Guardians, 2 extra overs. We gotta keep an eye on the builders though, that's very important. We have a whole of Warriors, another mineshaft coming up around the fortress. It's gonna be the 3rd mineshaft, which are gonna be around the fortress for more eco, more command points. The tunnel has been demolished by Smokk to deny any command points, any power points and experience points, I mean. And where is the builder? He has one builder with the army, the other one is building around the fortress. And the Goblins are moving on. I mean, he has extrovers and Guardians inside the mineshaft, but it's gonna be a 5v2 situation, 5v3 situation. Warchant has been used, and he might commit on the archer range maybe. Is he gonna do that? The builder has to be careful. He's gonna go for the mineshaft. I think the mineshaft is a bit better when you can take it down. It's especially this one because it's right next to the production building. That's gonna be slowing down the production and the movement from the dwarves a little bit. But the problem is there is going to be a counterattack. You see, even with the Warchant buff, as the buff is now weaker, the Goblins are still dying like flies to the fortress. That is going to be the counter commitment. There is a builder. We got to keep an eye on that builder, because what he can do is he can do crazy stuff. Like, he can legit build a statue here in a well, and those units from dwarves, they can keep fighting, but he needs to be careful because archers can snipe him, you know, in a second. The mineshaft here is going to be taken down. So the first push, the goblins were able to destroy 2 of the mineshafts from dwarves, okay? Let's see the damage in return. The builder is going to try to get in safety by building a statue, yeah? They're going to keep going. The guardians are still taking so much damage. It's like okay situation, I believe, for the goblins, because he will keep getting more reinforcements. 3 goblin caves, he has a crazy amount of production speed, so he will very soon be outnumbering them big enough, you know, that he can easily win this fight. Statue still needs some time. There is not a mineshaft close to the spot, so they gotta come out from this mineshaft and vault all the way to this area. Now double buff is unlocked. Now they are glowing, shining bright like a diamond. I think what you gotta do is you need to build a well, so they can recover while they keep fighting. And he's gonna build a mineshaft first. So that's the problem. You see, that's the entire problem, and you as the goblin player, I think you gotta find a way of denying this from happening. If it's gonna happen, then the only thing you can really do is do this. That's 600 investment for a mountain giant. 600 resources. That's a lot of money, especially early mid-game. Look, he cannot leave this area at all. Now he gotta wait for the mountain giant. He need to manually kill this, kill that. You know, this is causing so much problems and so incredible much pressure on Mr. Smokk. This is just too dangerous, and you don't want that to happen. Your counter push with 5 goblin warriors with the war chant cannot be as impactful as this push. And look, as this is happening, Sauron is taking over the map, you know? He has everywhere mineshafts here, mineshafts there. He can dominate this, you know? He will find everything because Smokky is in a prison situation until this problem is solved. He will just demolish it and retreat. Now he will build another one here and camp here, you know? Like, it's a very, very dangerous situation for the goblins, and I think you cannot really break this. When this happens, it's done, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you find yourself in a situation like this, I think you have like 80% chance of losing and 20% chance of your opponent throwing, because unless he's throwing, you cannot win anymore, you understand? I mean, after the first couple of minutes, we have 550 command points for dwarves and 375 for Smokky's command points kept. Earlier in the previous game, around this time, Sauron was playing the goblins. He was having a much better standing than Smokky has right now, but he still couldn't finish it. So that's a great amount of goblin warriors. Let's see if they can do stuff. But he needs some defense too. You know what can happen if you ignore this can happen if you ignore this army of dwarves here. What can happen is the guy can literally rush a level 2 siege, level 2 barracks, you know, get siege hammers, and he can legit end you. Like, he doesn't need to go for siege weapons. That's the power of the dwarves. You don't need even a demolisher, you know, you don't need rams, you don't need catapults. You have demolisher, catapult, siege weapon in those units anyway. Those guardians, 3 of them, I'm telling you, 3 of them with siege hammers, they can take down the fort in 10 seconds. Yes, we just used rebuild, by the way, on this mineshaft. The battle wagon is gonna trample them. The entire squad of goblins has been taken down. No money for the transition, no money to keep spamming half-throw swordman. His eco is looking really bad. You know, he has only 1 single level 2 tunnel. That's all he got. He's trying to recover, he's trying to fight for the end, but I think he's down a lot. A lot. He might go for Demolisher, but I think the Demolisher is too far away from this location. He doesn't need it. Look, he is now snowballing. You see, mineshaft, mineshaft, mineshaft. Now he's gonna sandwich the entire goblin race. And they're gonna go down to the goblin town. Commitment on the level 2 goblin tunnel. It will definitely be taken down. Why not siege hammers? I'm telling you, I think that's the best thing you can do. He's gonna finish this off. More reinforcements are coming. The tunnel here, the mineshaft is gonna be finished by this mountain giant. Warchan has been used defensively on half-throw swordman, but he has only 1 of them, right? Yeah, he has only 1 of them. He has archers though behind. Full commitment. The feature is gonna be taken down. There is no rebuild available for the goblins. The battle wagon should be around this side. Once again, you cannot shut their leadership down anymore. It means your cave pads is not doing as much work as it normally would do in the version 8.5. Beautiful trample into the backline. The battle wagon can also trample and deal a significant amount of damage. Goblins generally, struggling when it comes to deal with cavalry. So no spiderlings and no actual pikemen means nothing really can damage this battle wagon as much. And yeah, the fissure is down, the tunnel is down, there is no tunnel around the goblin caves anymore, so they lose a lot of speed, a lot of momentum. What happens in the meantime though, Smokk is kind of expanding, like he's building random tunnels left and right throughout the entire map. Look, there is another one fissure coming up, like he has in this area all alone, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tunnels, building a offensive, a goblin cave and a fissure, because he's about to lose everything what he has around this location very, very soon. Level 2, still not. No siege hammers means there is not really a way of you finishing off the game. I mean, you can try, but your DPS is not going to be the greatest, you know? Hey Shanks, I want to download the patch 2.2, but I can't find the video. Can you help me about that? You just download the patch 2.22. That's it. The patch 2.22 has the launcher in it, so you just run the patch 2.22 launcher, click download, and it will do everything to just download the full game and update automatically to the most recent version. It's very easy. And I cannot make any tutorial videos about any BFME game anymore in my YouTube channel because they are forbidden in YouTube, and last time I did it, they got removed, and I also almost got my channel banned on top of that. So unfortunately I cannot make any videos about, tutorial videos about BFME games anymore. I wish I could. $950 command points with wars and 600 for goblins. No siege hammers, but maybe he doesn't even need them. Statue right in front of the goblin caves. Look at this. Very offensive statue. He's building a tower and he's gonna lose this area very soon as well. I mean, this is the thing, you cannot pressure the dwarves enough or as much as they can pressure you. You understand? That's the problem, because their all out is just so much better than yours. Yeah, he's gonna lose all the goblin caves here around the spot. And the reason why he has still, what, 600 command points is because he has offensive tunnels. But he has only 10%, he's only using 10% from his available command points in his population. Like, he's down a lot. See, that's the main reason why we were actually running a tournament like this. The idea is to understand if it's about the player or if it's about the matchup. So in this specific example, in this matchup, I mean, Smokk is god tier player, right? He's one of the best players of the game since multiple years. He has incredible amount of experience in every single matchup, on every single map. Scene goes to Sauron, who is active since 3-4 years in the scene, also one of the best players ever. But you can see the matchup they played is going almost exactly the same way. To be honest, Sauron was able to hold a little bit longer. He went all the way to the 15 power point. We have seen Watcher, but in the last minutes when Sauron was playing against Smokk, he was only defending, but he could never break through it because you have not strong units in the Goblin faction. You have no strong units. That's the problem, you know. The only way you can get leadership is gotta kill the Goblin King. You need to invest 400 for your elite sportsmen. Your Spider Riders are meh. You have no power here. We have Dwarves against Mordor matchup, the good against evil El Clasico matchup once again. This time between the Mordor player Mr. Smokk and the Dwarven player Sauron. The Dwarves are undefeated for now. I mean, they have not lost a single game tonight. They were able to win 2 times for each player against the Goblin faction. Let's see if they can also do that against the Mordor faction. Vestfold is a much bigger map than Forts of Isen is. So you have a lot of opportunities and possibilities on a map like this, which is pretty good for the Dwarven faction. Like, you can, when you get a chance, you can snowball extremely hard, you know? Hey, I have never seen this game. It's a game from 2006, I believe. So it's not a new game. It's 16 years old. But we are actually stuck in it, you know? We are Lord of the Rings fans, and we are it's pretty active, you know. It's like a league right now. We are trying to create some competition by hosting tournaments. That's a small one, but we have whole tournaments for nearly 100 people so far, multiple times a year. It's an older game. You cannot even buy this game anymore, you know, legally. You can only buy it as a second hand, or you can download it for free. It's an abandoned game. You should not, you know, have any hesitation when it comes to download this game for free. And you need to download also like a tool which is called Game Ranger or Redmin VPN in order to play those games in 2022 online. But I would recommend to try it out, at least for single player. I mean, the BFME 1 has one of the best campaigns ever from any video game made. So if you like Lord of the Rings, if you would like to play a game which lets you replay the entire trilogy in the Lord of the Rings, you should definitely give it a shot. You have only one material, you have only resources. I mean, they are called resources. So you build resource buildings. In this case, for the model faction, these are the slaughterhouses, as you can see, which give you command points, each of them, and also increase your money. And then you build, for example, tavern for the corsairs. You can build orc pits for the orcs. You can later on build strong creatures like Mumma kills, pretty much like elephants, you know. You can recruit heroes. When you fight, you collect power points. With the power points, early game, you can buff your units to make them stronger. Later on, you can summon additional mighty creatures. For example, a Watcher in the water, or a dragon, or Balrog, you know, like crazy stuff. I mean, it's a great game. Trust me on that one. You should definitely give it a shot. Best of 9? No, it's best of 7. One more question. I will type it in the scoreboard. I'm regretting already why I didn't type it. It's Rise of the Witch King, Chiron. But they changed. I mean, I know your question because you see a tavern, but they changed this in the version. They added the tavern once again, so they made it. You can recruit the corsairs now from the tavern instead of the Haradrim Palace. It's a huge change for the model faction. You have like an additional building, which gives you like a early access to the corsairs. You can start with this building too. Best of 7. I think they call it Battle for Middle of Reforged. Yeah, I wouldn't be too excited about this one. I would instead be excited about the games which are already existing in the market, you know? Like, even if this is gonna be coming out, I think you can use this time to practice on BFME 2 and Rise of the Witch King, because the BFME Reforged, if it's gonna make it out, is gonna be almost like BFME 2 and Rise of the Witch King anyway. The playstyle is gonna be the same with like improved FPS and graphics, but the gameplay is gonna be almost identical. Oh, Polish transition, that's good. You have actually lots of Polish people playing BFME 1, so that would be kind of dope. After the first couple of minutes, we can see 450 command points, boys, for dwarves, and 400 command points for Mordor. Gondor, Mordor, no door. Is there gonna be a few seconds delay like now? I mean, I don't know how it's gonna be at the end of the day, you know, the BFME Reforged. I have no clue. I'm not in the development process. I have like zero inside information, but they were promising that it's gonna be lag free. So basically they are hoping when the game is finally done that you can play it as like any modern game in 2022. Like you have a server, basically you have no host or off-host advantages anymore, and you have no delay. Mordor is doing good actually in this map. Expanding offensively in the middle of the map. Dwarves were creeping. In the meantime we have Hall of Warriors, Forge Wargs. But unlike in the previous games, we have no extra over action. Beautiful trample. Look, the battle wagons are actually hitting like a truck. The orcs, they will be able to finish off this mineshaft, no problemo. And this mineshaft might also be taken down. You can see if it's Rise of the Witch King or BFME 2 by the color of the scroll bottom left. Rise of the Witch King blue or BFME 2 green. Yeah. But I think you can see that also in many other different ways. Smokk doing good this game, yeah. Haradrim Palace coming up is the production building number 4. Dwarves are struggling, not being able to keep up with the spam with only one Hall of Warriors. He's gonna build now the second one. But I think that's exactly the point where you need to understand, okay, I need to build extroverts. I don't know, but they are not playing this the same way like they would play against goblins. I believe the early game from Mordor is pretty similar to the early game from the goblin faction, you know? Because you most of the time will have orcs on the field, and they are very similar to the goblin warriors. They are kind of spammy, they are cheap, and you can easily counter them by recruiting additional extroverts from your archer range level 1. Which game has more players right now? Oof, it's a tough question. Like when you open Game Range application, you would tell it's Rise of the Witch King, for example. But in reality, there are also multiple mods. So for me, when you play exclusively mods, you are not a Rise of the Witch King player, you know? So the thing is, all the mods, almost every single one of them, which are kind of popular, are kind of based on BFME 2 The Rise of the Witch King, which is the oldest game, which is the newest game, the newest Battle for Middle-earth game. BFME 2 is also kind of active, but it's kind of split between multiple different patch versions. So BFME 2, you have people playing 1.00, you have people playing 1.06, you have people playing 1.09. And BFME 1, pretty much the same situation like BFME 2. But I would say, unfortunately, even though I personally like BFME 1 the most, but I'm not delusional, BFME 1 is definitely the least active one from all games, in multiplayer scene at least. Okay, big push. I mean, he won't be able to achieve too much more with the Guardians. And those battle wagons, they gotta be careful. Getting a great amount of damage done, very good. Mineshaft here is going to be protected for now. Bring them closer. Who would know 1.00 player will rule all patches? That's not true. Like, he still doesn't have any chance in BFME 1, trust me that one. There is an eye. What does this eye do? This eye, you mean? This eye? It's a spell. So, the Eye of Sauron, as you can see, it gives, you know, multiple advantages, reveals stealth enemies, is a leadership to make your units stronger, can give you more damage, more armor, more experience, and stuff like this. I mean, Mordor is kind of losing map control though. 625 command points versus 500. That's why you need to find a way of transition. To be honest, I'm very surprised about the Dwarven performance in this version so far. You know, I remember in the version 8.4, Dwarves were kind of really bad. I think they got a couple of buffs in the version 8.5. I don't know what buffs they got now in the version we are using right now for the version 9.0.0. But I can tell you that dwarves are having incredible amount of performance in this version, in this tournament so far. Can Mordor units heal somehow? They can only heal when they are level 2 or higher. And they cannot regenerate HP, but they can respawn the units they have lost. So basically you have a battalion, right? And when you lose a couple of the units, and when your units are level 2, they can respawn slowly but surely over time. But they have no sustain. Like, that's a thing for the good factions, which is like in the films. In BFME 2, they made it so you can build wells and even get heal from your spellbook. But in Rise of the Witch King, in Battle for Middle-earth 1, that's not possible. The year 2058. It is patched 2.7.0.4. Battle wagons are still OP. I think battle wagons are cool units, dude. Like, you know, what you want to do with them? That's the thing. I think, you know what the problem I think with the battle wagons are? They feel too tanky for me. They just, generally speaking, feeling extremely tanky for me. Like, these take almost no damage from anything else but pikemen, you know? yeah, roam it. What can I say? I mean, first of all, that was one of the major things which was bothering me the most. The speed of the game was just too low. It was like unnecessary amount of slowness in the game. The development of the game would take ages, and there would be like dead minutes in the game in which you stand and doing nothing because your game is so slow in compared to BFME Twin Rise of the Witch King. And the thing is, if people are used to a version like 1.06 for example, and they have been playing this now for many years, they will not like it. That's straight up, you know, they will not enjoy it. Because people, they are kind of having a rough time when it comes to switch up to a new thing. Oh, this is hitting very hard though. 2 shots and the matchup is gone, but he will bring reinforcements here from this location, and that's gonna be a great squad. The mineshaft has been taken down though, so there is no more reinforcement anytime soon. There are 0 slaughterhouses in the middle of the map. Sauron is doing a phenomenal job scouting the entire map back and forth, making sure that Mordor cannot get any money from anywhere. Charge attack has been used on this Guardians. No siege hammers. I would love to see siege hammers, but unfortunately we can't. He purchased the banner though. Banner is also very valuable on Guardians because they get a huge bonus from the charge attack. They will get more DPS, more armor. They can, you know, charge you down. They can knock you down on the ground and pretty much trample you. The catapult has been taken down. One of the battle wagons is down, but Smokk is not saying a single word. And for the first time in this tournament's finals, Sauron gets ahead. Hey Halunke, yeah, I have made a video about this one, my friend. Like, there needs to be a video on my channel, the best mods for BFME and how to get them. So basically, it's like a very short video in which I showcase the best mods, in my opinion, of course, and then how to download them too. Like, it's a tutorial video and showcase at the same time. You just should, you know, go on my channel and type best mods, BFME, and how to get them. You can easily find it. Like, it's hard for me to give like a one-to-one technical support, you know. For that reason, we have like a technical support channel in our Discord. If you should run into any problems during the installation of anything regarding BFME games, I'm sure that we will find a way of helping you out. But, you know, I'm a big fan of kind of finding solution to these problems in a public place, because then we have already found a solution to this problem and anyone else can scroll back, or we can, you know, bring this topic back because it's saved in Discord conversations, you know. That's why we have like a public channel for this. Alright, so Mordor against Dwarves. Last game the Dwarven player was able to win. It was Sauron. Now Smokk is gonna play the Dwarven faction in the game number 4. He's gonna build up 2 mineshafts, Hall of Warriors. And the build is moving to the bottom location in building an offensive mineshaft very early. So I'm assuming you wanna creep this first. Let me check if it's gonna be a pikeman opening. Yes, sir. In the meantime, Mordor building up Orc Pit number 1, Orc Pit number 2, and Orc Pit number 3. The age of men, or the age of dwarves is over. The day of the orc has come. So orcs all day, all night. And would dwarves and elves work in BFME 1? Sure. But what you can't do in BFME 1, I can 100% guarantee you that, is this one. Like this mineshaft connection system. That's not possible in BFME 1. And the problem is, when it comes to modify or change BFME 1, you are running into many problems.
My old friend. This will be a night to remember.
You're running into many problems because you have limitations in terms of the engine, you know. You have not the freedom to do anything you want. Like, I remember we wanted to do this. For example, we wanted to make it so when you select the units in BFME 2 and you hold your left and right button together, and you can drag like a formation and you can make them line up, for example, right? I wanted to have this also for BFME 1, but it's not possible. Like, lots of the stuff, like you sending money to your ally, for example, the tribute, it's also not possible, you know? The flame of the best. Forged from the shine. Hey, what's up, my friend? Okay, that's gonna be a nice push with 2 Guardians and 1 Pikeman. But he has a lot of Orcs. So the Orcs, all they gotta do is be a meatball. Just like be a Orc shield. And wait for more Orcs to come. Deny them from reaching out to your slaughterhouses. That's all you gotta do. In the meantime, they are fighting against each other because they are bored. He's also eventually moving from the top spot. The mineshaft here is gonna be found and eventually taken down. I mean, he can still try to defend this by getting those Guardians out. This is gonna go down. This is gonna potentially go down as well. This is going down for sure. Maybe this one can be protected if he can place those Orcs in time in front of it. To be honest, you losing only 1 slaughterhouse to the first big push as Mordor against dwarves is okay. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, you know? Like normally dwarves are aiming to at least destroy 2, 3, but they only took down 1 of you. I think it's okay for Mordor. The only thing is that Mordor couldn't deal any damage in return. That's the problemo. Orc should always be free. I don't agree with that one, you know? Like, it's a different game. Like, it's a full different game. And there are difference here completely in compared to BFME 1, you know? Should be able to defend this. Archers, lots of Orcs, even the Horde bonus for more damage output. Only level 1. I think when it comes to get banner, also Mordor is getting so much value of that. Because the banner upgrade is gonna cost you 50. I mean, now you can say, but 50 is almost as much as 80, so you get 1 more additional battalion. But I think it's worth it, dude. Like, you buy this for 400, and you can, first of all, you know, make it on the Orcs, so they get level 2, unlock the Bloodthirsty for additional damage. But that's not even the whole thing. Later on, it's good on Haradrim Archers. Later on, it's good on Black Orcs. They get so much value from it. And on top of that, you kind of get yourself the self-regeneration ability unlocked for your valuable units. For example, I don't know, Lancers. You can give them banner so they can respawn even when they are down to 1 unit only from the battalion. But Mordor is having units everywhere. I like the macro play from Sauron a lot. He's always scouting, you know, never focusing through one single pathway. He's moving through the bottom, top simultaneously. Like, he's doing that at the same time. I like this. That's really fun to watch. Very well done. Have you ever thought? To be honest, we thought about it, but it's gonna be so time. I mean, first of all, they have already done something like this. Like legit, the Edain mod is like that. Edain mod is based on Rise of the Witch King, but it's similar to the BFME 1, so it's definitely possible to do that. Then you have obviously much more possibilities because you have way more possibilities in the engine of Rise of the Witch King. Many more coding stuff which is existing, which you don't need to try to add yourself. But I think it's quite time consuming, you know? Don't waste time. I mean, it's fine for Mordor. Dude, when you play Mordor and you can kind of keep the fights far away from your own side, it's fine for you, trust me on that one. Like, you not losing any of these valuable structures, you keeping the enemy around this location is already a victory in my book. You know, it's not a big deal. And that's only possible because he keeps scouting all the time. He keeps scouting every single time. He kinda can find them before they can reach out to him. There is a squad coming all the way by moving from the middle, but only 1 Guardian and half a battalion of extroverts. They shouldn't be able to achieve too much. We have a Forge Works finally coming up for Smokk, but this one is looking actually very good for Mordor. It's pretty even in the command points department, 650 to 650, but again, Mordor is a skilling faction. Later on we will see Lancers, maybe we can even see Haradrim Archers, we can see eventually Trolls, and even, you know, heroes like a Fell Beast, you know? Dude, I'm telling you, a Fell Beast in a map like this, like the bigger the map is, I believe the more value the Fell Beast is gonna bring to the table. Like, you can rotate so fast, and you can always end up killing enemy mineshafts left and right, and fish power points legit 24/7, you understand? It's gonna be, it's huge when you get one of them done. We have seen Arrow Volley here, by the way, from Mordor. Okay, Mordor went for Arrow Volley, very interesting choice. It's something you don't see very often. Normally we see Mordor most of the time going for the industry, but in this case, nope. That's not the case. Slaughterhouse level 2, level 2. There is a mineshaft though hidden at the bottom right corner. Does Mordor have no vision on that one? Nope. Look, it's slightly out of vision from Mordor. He has no information about this mineshaft, guys. And there is still one more here remaining on the field. He keeps pushing from the top side. I think when you have like a different army or another squad of army, you can try to bring them from the bottom. Oh, he will find it now. He will be able to take it down. Creeping. Yes, units everywhere. Going for the first big push. Kind of big push with the orcs exclusively. Trying to destroy this level 2 mineshaft, but I think the battle wagon should be able to defend this, no problemo. Here's also the banner for the leadership. I think the battle wagon was a little bit too late when it's end. Like, I think the dwarven player could have utilized the double buff advantage way sooner. I actually kind of surprised that the extroverts didn't put enough value or didn't bring enough value for the dwarven army in this matchup, like they do in the goblin matchup. I like ROTWK against dwarves. They are slow. Yeah, but still, you know, I think you have still time to dodge the incoming damage, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you see the animation, you have like, what, 10 seconds time almost? It feels like it at least. To dodge the incoming damage, you can still press X on your keyboard. And even if they're slow, they can still move away. No problemo. Is there a delay? Like 30 seconds. We have not actually a lot of delay in the stream. Since when has Mordor, does Mordor have horses? In Rise of the Witch King, always. Like, you have always the Haradrim Lancers. Okay, big push coming, kind of big push. I mean, the problem is Smokk cannot really assemble a big army. That's the problem. He has not very good eco as we are talking. I mean, he went for Dwarven Riches on this one, which is very badly damaged. So he has Rebuild to save it. And also you need Rebuild to actually go for the Dwarven Riches. Which means you cannot have this enough, you cannot have this additional unit summon. Like, you cannot go for the Hobbit summon, for example, you know? And I believe Mordor is getting stronger and stronger. At this point of the game, his command points cap. It means he will automatically, even if he doesn't want to, end up saving money, right? He cannot invest the money into units, so his money will be gathered automatically. So he will have very soon, with 650 command points, he will have very soon 3,000. In Boom, it will give you the chance to get a Fell Beast for 3k, right? And the Fell Beast can easily, you know, fix the problems of this battle wagons. Few hits and they're gonna be gone. The Fell Beast can also nearly two-shot the mineshafts, you know? And cause so much problems. Is he gonna go for it though? He's very close. He's also very close for the industry with 10 power points. Dwarves have 5 power points after the riches. And no troll cage, no elite units besides the Haradrim Lancers. Pretty much playing since the beginning of the game with Orcs, Easterlings and Corsairs exclusively. Now we have the transition of the Man of Deal for Dwarves. Mordor is holding himself very nicely, 575 command points only for Dwarves. But he has the Dwarven Riches, that's very good. On a level 3 mineshaft, he's getting a lot of value from it. And Mordor is having now 3k. Yeah, he has 3k. Is he gonna go for it? Industry unlocked and used right off the bat. Now he's gonna... How much money does he get from it? Let me check. 59. Which is pretty good. 850 command points. He has more than he needs for the Fell Beast. You know what? Maybe you can even wait a little bit longer and actually go for the Witch King. You don't have to rush it. Because you are putting pressure, you don't have to defend anything. Mineshaft is gonna be taken down. Don't use Rebuild on this one. Oil Barrel is gonna be used. And I think you need to save Rebuild for this mineshaft with the industry on it. With the Dwarven Riches on it. And maybe you don't even need to use it. Because the fortress is doing... you need to use it. You need to use it. Right? Maybe not. It's tanky. Also, dwarves have a lot of money. Yeah, look at the money from Mordor. You see this, boys? He has nearly 5k in the bank. I think he's gonna go for the Witch King. Yeah, Witch King is on the way, by the way, boys. Witch King is on the way. He has the upgrades on the fortress to make it a bit cheaper. So it's gonna be the Witch King of Mordor. I like this one because he's gonna be, of course, much more valuable than a Felbeast. He can fly too, but on you know, food, he's also very strong. He has debuff, all that crazy stuff. I mean, Smokk might be actually calling it when the Witch King appears because he has not enough units and enough men of steel to take him down. Sauron's deadliest servant. Yeah, actually makes sense because Sauron is his name. I gotta say, it's not very creative when you play a video game and you name yourself Sauron. It's like when you play a video game and Lord of the Rings game and you call yourself, I don't know, Gandalf. Or Gimli. Or Smokk. Oh, there comes the Witch King. Do not come between the Nazgul and his prey. You fool. No man can kill me. Die now. Two of them, double it, you know, double kill. Triple kill. Quadro kill. Penta kill. Level 4. That's crazy, dude. Look how much experience he got. Like, he just joined the battlefield like 10 seconds ago and he's already level 4. 3 battle wagons lost. That's like almost what? Almost, I would say 2,500 resources you lose when you lose 3 battle wagons like that, you know? And he has now the 1 ring. Now Sauron has now Sauron has the chance to recruit himself, you know? He can put on the ring into the fortress and he can recruit himself. Who else has the chance to do this? You understand? Who else can recruit himself in a video game? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like 1 or 2, maybe black. Oh, they are chunking him though. But hey, I am Witch King on foot. Dude, he's such a cool hero. Look at him. Look at him. We don't see him often, you know, but he's going crazy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He's running like a chicken. Look. Boom. Every hit is like a Visa blast from him, you know what I'm saying? Look. Boom. 2 of them at the same time. The out attack, he's running like a chicken, but out attacking like a grandmother, you know, very slow. Boom. When it's dangerous, oh, he's gonna use, nah, dancing around the Rosie. You know what? You know who can kill him? I believe when he's on the Felbeast, this dude can kill him. You know, with the trained archers, he can kill him. And he has a very strong debuff too, right? He can also toggle on the weapon and off, as a mace or sword. He can use one of them. Toggle sword for faster attack rate and bonus damage against heroes. So, and you have also enable, like, you change pretty much your entire Palantir. So when you use the sword, you can actually get Morgul Blade, for example, instead of Screech, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, is he gonna die to the hobbitses? Oh! Can you imagine? Can you, guys? Did this happen? Did you see this? There is no way this happened, right? Their timer was gone. In the last second. I didn't check their timer. He buffed them even with the rallying call. It was this. What? I was like, okay, this guy's dead for sure. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen this in all these years. That's crazy, man. Someone please clip this, you know? What's crazy, what the heck? Like, I was zoomed in, I was expecting him to die, and he doesn't die. He doesn't die. He's alive. He's regenerating his HP. I think even if he would die, I wouldn't say it's over for Mordor, because let's be real here, Mordor has such a huge advantage. I don't think it's over anytime soon for Mordor, right? But it would be still like a down thing, you know, you lose a 5,000 hero, which might give like maybe more than like a hope or like an encouragement for the opponent player. Oh, Undermine and one-shotted every orc. Dude, Undermine is something we have seen much more in this version of the patch 2.02 than ever before. I mean, I think the only time I've seen ever Undermine was actually between Dwarves and Angmar, because you could one-shot those Trollmasters, but I think we have seen it now multiple times against pretty much every single faction. Okay, so almost level 6, it's gonna unlock the Screech, no fear resistant on the side from Dwarves, so the Screech is gonna mess him up. I mean, he has only King Brains somewhere. I like the glow animation from the Darkness. The Darkness has actually like a crazily good looking animation. And also very strong buff spell, because it can stack with the Eye of Sauron in Warchant too, right? You can have triple leadership as we are talking, which can be quite significant on a, especially when you have like, I don't know, like Haradrim archers for example, you know? But he's gonna go for the black, he has black riders, okay. The elite. Oh, he has King Dane, okay, never mind, I'm blind. So he has level 2, King Dane, he has fear resistant. Oh, but he's looking for it. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. You want to hit them one single time. Watch. What is he doing? Level 6. Don't even bother using Screech. It doesn't affect them. Oh, slam shot. But Witch King is beefy, dude. 6,000. Did you guys know, for example, the HP from this Witch King does never change? Like, he has 6,000 HP with level 1, and he will also have only 6,000 HP with level 10. While the HP from the Witch King of Angmar, you know, is different. So the Witch King of Angmar health is gonna scale with levels, you will get more and more HP. But this 6,000 is from level 1 until level 10. It's not changing at all from Mordor. Angmar Witch King is stronger? I wouldn't say so, because you being able to fly means that only arrows can deal damage to you. Like, I believe flying is in... Oh, what was that? The battle wagon was running into the back of the Easterlings for no reason. It's Fiesta though. It's Fiesta. Crazy Fiesta. Dwarves are getting overwhelmed. Level 4, you need level 7. Isn't Witch King Angmar more tanky? Phew, I don't know. I mean, Witch King Angmar is... Witch King from Angmar is looking more dope. On the black horse is looking nice. But I think you being able to get mounted on a fell beast creates so much more intensity. Like, again, only arrows can deal with you, you know? Level almost 4 will unlock the doubt ability for the debuff. You have also Gothmog, sorry, that's what it is. Slapshot from King Brains. We have 2 kings on the side from dwarves, but oh boy! The demon of the ancient world. Breathfire. Pew! And pew. The Witch King is coming. Look at this, look at the screen. You see Gothmog turning into a tomato. You see a Witch King flying on his fell beast who was barely able to survive. The timing and the destiny actually saved him. You see a Balrog on your screen. You see dwarves are falling apart as Black Riders are moving from the top side. The hobbits from the Shire, Peregrine Took, you full of a Took. Look, he's dancing around as his country is falling into darkness. Pippin, what are you doing? Look at him, he's dancing, he learned some new moves or something. But hey, you are about to lose the game, Peregrine Took. This guy is like crazy, you know? Rebuild is gonna be used. And yeah, you have seen, Mordor can definitely beat dwarves. I believe Mordor is like a very solid faction, you know, like kind of easy to understand, a little bit rough early game, but strong mid, late, and super late. You are incredibly strong. I mean, there's not even the final form of Mordor. Okay, so we have the blue Isengard player Sauron versus the red Angmar player Mrs. Smokk. That's gonna be the first time we see Angmar today. We have not seen Angmar before. It's also a very strong faction. Let's see if Isengard got what it takes to defeat one of the most solid factions in the previous versions of the patch 2.02. Definitely a strong early game, strong late mid game, and absolute beast mode in the late game. Very strong archers, very strong wombo combo potential, no counterplay. Felwind longshot, busted. But you can, I mean, Felwind is like the coolest ability from all the games, from all the factions, I believe, is the Felwind, you know, it's like so good. Like, I love this, I love this ability so much. It's what patch? We are using the beta for the upcoming version of the patch 2.2. I think it's going to be called 9.00, but again, boys, it's beta, so nothing, I believe, I mean, I don't know, I'm not involved into this, but I believe nothing is set in stone. That's why it's called beta, so they can, I don't know, like, play some games, you know, see if there are bugs or if there is any need of changing for the balance, and that's why it's beta. That's why it's not released yet. Three meals, Hall of the Kingsman, and we have here 3 furnaces, work pits, into the work packs, into the Uruk pits right after. So work packs against Gundabad Oryx. Gundabad Oryx, they can be good and bad at the same time. I think like it's hard for me to decide if the Trollmaster thing is actually a good thing or a bad thing. But I know for a fact, for example, that Ingmar has the easiest way of finding a transition into the cavalry. Now you might say, but Wolf Riders, they are bad. But it's okay, they can still trample, they can still be fast, they can still be good for harassment, you know? And the amazing part about these Trollmaster units is that you can turn them into 4 different type of units. And on top of that, they also act like a banner carrier. So you don't have to be level 2 for the self-recovery. Oh, he killed the Trollmaster. You see, that's the downside. That is the downside of it. But you see, when you need a pikeman, boom, there is a pikeman. When you need an extrovert, boom, there is an extrovert, you know? But it's a great situation for Sauron. He will actually be able to deal with the 2nd Battalion too, no problemo. Crossbowmen are actually slaughtering those units, no big deal. The work packs, they need to be careful. But he's putting pressure on him and defending at the same time. I think goblins are cool. I believe the first time when I moved to Rise of the Witch King, I don't know, like 3-4 years ago, there was like a meta. I don't know the version of the patch anymore, but it was like people used to build like 5, 6, 7 goblin caves, and you have seen the entire map with goblin warriors everywhere, you know? It was so fun. But now the spam of the goblins kind of feels meh, and the problem is goblins don't have just too many alternatives, I believe. I mean, Ingmar is not able to deal any damage to Isengard, and he's trying to creep at the bottom right. He should be able to creep this. Now we have the wolf packs, and for me they are also one of the most busted units in the game. I don't know, I feel like they are so crazily strong and impactful, again, you know, in the situation in which they are supposed, in which they matter. For example, when it comes to deal with pikemen, like, again, unique, there is so much uniqueness in the Ingmar faction in this game, you know, like so much unique stuff which is exclusively for the Ingmar faction. There is no other faction similar to this. Like, for example, the wolf packs, the only mobile unit that can one-shot and hard counter pikemen. And imagine you combine them later on with your snow trolls. Like, you can get even stronger cavalry, snow trolls. Also unique, because that's the only cavalry in the game which has a charge attack, you know? Like, again, almost every single thing, every single detail. Sorcerers, the heroes like Karch, for example, unique, spicy abilities. The guy can teleport from one location to the other location. I mean, such a cool faction. It's almost everything about it is so unique. Okay. I mean, the war packs are actually slaughtering the wolf riders. Ingmar is in a defensive situation. There is a push coming with lots of pikemen and crossbowmen. Small harassment attempts. Looks like he will be able to finish off the 1 furnace, but I think that's all the damage he should be able to deal. PowerPoint wise, we have 4 power points for Isengard, 400 command points available, 450 command points for Smokk, Ingmar, and 2 power points available after the war chant. So 3 more power points for the Fjellwind, or also Snowbind can be actually a choice. But what you can do is skip that and go for the 10 power point for the Orc Special Summon. So the advantage for Isengard over Ingmar is the eco advantage. So Ingmar's weakness is it has one of the worst ecos in the entire, I think it's the 2nd worst eco in the game. Like the elves have the worst eco because they have like 0 tools to make the eco a bit stronger and more powerful. and Angmar is the second one, because Angmar has still Voldor, but elves have nothing. The bracket, yeah, there is no bracket for this one because it was like an invitational tournament for 8 players only. So we had like quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and for that reason we didn't have a bracket. The bracket you are seeing now in the chat is a very outdated one. I need to update this one, or they need to delete this one. The Miller's been taken down. He's going for a trample into the backline. Nice one. Crossbowman, they didn't get one-shotted up. And Isengard is peeling back, but he's gonna assemble yet another big army here with lots of pikemen and also now wildman extroverts from the clan setting level 2. In the meantime, there is a Warg sentry in a random spot, kind of protecting a little bit around this area. Warg sentries are also defensive structures we see way more often in the last version 2.8.5. We have seen Isengard building them frequently. Yeah, Sauron is doing a good job, yeah, very good job actually. The mill is gonna be taken down, lots of pressure on Angmar. He has Fellwind, but Fellwind alone is not good. Like, doesn't really do much for you when you use Fellwind out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? It's like a wombo combo thing. You can combine this with lots of different stuff, but I believe at this point of the game, he can't really do much with the Fellwind. Maybe you can try to, if you can of course, get, you know, the pikemen out of the way, so you can try to Fellwind the pikemen. It means you can trample them later on with your Wolf Riders, the backline, the crossbowmen and extroverts, but it's easier said than done. Yeah, Fellwind, but that's the thing, you know, what's gonna happen next after the Fellwind now? Like, there is nothing, no continuation, like no long shot, no hero jump or no nothing, no blight. This matchup is very in favor of Isengard. Okay. I couldn't judge this, to be honest. I don't know. But he's doing good. Like, Angmar is kinda down a lot. 9 power points for Isengard after the Creepin in Warchant. He's up to 600 command points. He can very soon summon also the Weapon of Dunland or go for the Devastation. The builder will be getting eaten alive by the Warg packs. Buff is available very soonish. The extroverts are dealing constant damage. Look at the positioning, that's so good, you know? You see the positioning with the Uruks in the front, pikemen in between, makes it almost impossible for the Angmar player to commit on a fight in a spot like this. He went for the Tainted Land. That's smart, because there is no way Angmar can cover this. The Frozen Land doesn't cover the Tainted Land. Even when you put your Frozen Land over the Tainted Land from your opponent, it won't cover this. It will be active at the same time, you know? What is the plan? Like, he's giving up everything. This push is looking very dangerous to me. Warchan is available. Mill has been taken down. This might be the one push to rule them all. Look at this, dude. This is no rabble of mindless orcs. These are Urukai. Their armor is thick and their shields broad. Tainted Land is doing actually a good job. Sauron is so on fire. Dude, he only lost one single game. He only lost the dwarves against his goblins. And again, I'm not biased person, but I'm a honest person, you know? This guy doesn't even practice. That's the impressive part about it. The guy legit came online today. He wasn't even online in the previous days. He just came online today. He plays his tournament games every single time, and then he leaves afterwards. You understand? That's the impressive part about this guy. I don't know what to say. Like, 4-1 victory in the best of 7 grand finals.